So you just saw this video. Um, I was at the airport, and this is back in this last summer, and I made a video about it too. But these people at this point are just trying to repurpose things, and it's just like the desperation of the way I've been validated. I've been too validated that what is happening to my brain is they're altering my thought process, they're altering my mind, they can make me have the reaction that they want me to have. This is what this EEG, cloning, or heterodyning is about. It's literally able to take over your brain, manipulate the brain, and put it back in your brain. Like, control your thoughts, and make you experience whatever they want you to experience. It was so bad at the time that when you see that picture, that video, and you'll see at the end again, this girl's shoulder, the stimulation they made me have, it was crazy. Even right now when I'm watching, they still try to make me, they're still making me stimulating toward that shoulder. So at that point, like, oh my gosh, like, if that's all it takes for me to get these reactions, these stimulations, it's crazy. Now I'm like, if they're making me experience this, this person must be like a child or something like that. Why would they force me to have this disgusting, not this, but these stimulations, unless it's somebody that they want me to be stimulated toward, which is usually toward children. And they were cranking up stimulation, and I'm like, if I'm getting stimulation toward shoulders, what does it mean? If this is that's the little that you need for me to be manipulated this way, does it not mean that you're capable of manipulating me in all kind of level? Because this is an extreme level. I will never have any reaction toward somebody's shoulder, especially of that nature. So that is just showing you what they're capable of doing. When they do this extreme, then you can understand the other things they can do. That just shows that even the shoulder of an individual can make you have this reaction because they have rewired my brain. But they have this bottom fears. Instead of seeing that as like, okay, this is kind of showing the reality of things, that we are capable of making people experience things that we want to. If this person gets stimulation towards somebody's shoulder in this way, so what if there's an actual person? You understand? And you hear these perps, they send this trash. They talk about how they're going to frame me. Doing everything possible to create their narrative and personalities that they want me to accept. Tell me how, and the truth is because they all said about framing me, which is another indication what kind of people they are. These people tell me how I'm going to be framed are the same people involved in the manipulation of my brain. And how they're going to frame me, they tell me, is they're going to have their kids, or some kids, say that I did something to them. Super fucking pathetic. But the truth is, they are living in the torment I'm going to go through. They don't live life. Like, their life is on pause for you. Like, they just, it's just really right now, it's not even about their life. They don't live. Which is good. I pray that they continue to live this low life. It's humiliating. Because at that point, I'm seeing them for what they are. I know they want me to be in this way. They have slammed the doors. They told me, oh, I'm going to be raped in this way and this, that, to try to make me accept this manipulation. They use the threat and the warnings of whatever's going to happen to me to make me accept this manipulation. That instead of seeing, like, if a shoulder can make you feel this reaction, it's obvious that your brain is being manipulated. And they think if they go into repetition, you're going to be humiliated. I was like, oh, I can't wait to say this out loud. Because after that, unfortunately, I didn't take a picture of this person. So there was two people. You see, the shoulder. She was talking to somebody else. That person too, they were stimulating me crazy, and they were playing my perception. She kept looking back and looking at somebody next to me, and I'm like, whoa! Every time she look at me, I see her differently. And then, and my mind is like, it must be these people must be children, because for them to manipulate me this way, that's how I know. Like, that's like my indication if these people are children, because if my brain becomes rewired in this way, it's like they must be children. And so the person next to her stood up, and I'm like, let me see if this is even, like, let me just see where is it coming from, like who is this person? Is it a child? And I see her, it's like, it's actually look like more like a young adult. She would look more like a early 20s, but they still created this perception. Now, let me say this, she's not a bad looking person, But I can feel like you're just playing with my brain. She's not, and then it's funny, they turn it off, and I'm like, oh, she's just a regular, young, adultish looking person. Now, can I be wrong? Absolutely. But I'm getting perceptions that falsified. You are doing these things toward her, this girl's shoulder. So this girl, you can do so much. And they're like, no, she was thick. He's like, no, trash. You just make me see her in this sexual way. If you can make me look at this bony shoulder in this way, of course you can make me look at this person in this sexual way easily. But it's manipulations. Do you understand? Looking at a shoulder for me can be a way that can force me to get stimulations. And this person's like, nah, you're like, and if you see her, truthfully, she does look like early 20s, right? Maybe like late teen, early 20s. It's just like that age gap that's, it's kind of like blurring. And so, now I can be completely wrong. I'm not here to guess people's age. But they're like, oh, it's not you. And the thing is, she reminded me of some of my coworkers. Because I do have coworkers around the same age, right? They're like early 20s. She made me think of one coworker who was like a 23-year-old that was kind of similar. But she did this thing with her face. Because when they make themselves talk, I've noticed a coworker of mine who's about the same age, but a little bit older than her maybe. And she'll be like, talk like that. And so when they talk like that, you can hear them. I was like, oh, I don't know if the V2K is an actual device they talk, or it's something that they can speak, and then whatever this technology can create that as a V2K. I don't know. But she started talking to say, and then you're gonna, and I was like, oh, it sounds like this is my coworker who I saw last time at work. She was going back home. I was sitting in the cubicle. And all of a sudden, as she walks away, she turns around and she does the same thing. Hey, God, man, this. I was like, okay, that's just. So for me, I'm like, you lean toward like more of a young adult, at least based on what I can see, or based on my guest, on my guess, because I was guessing. I don't know the truth. I don't know about her at least. So, but what I know is the way I was forced to perceive her. Because they were forcing me to get this reaction toward the shoulder. And so these people who are prepping for the framing using their children, they try to hold on to anything. That's somebody that, to the point where I was manipulated to get a reaction to her shoulder not too long ago. This is the person that you see, the blonde person there. The girl next to her is the one they try to use now. When they gave me this disgusting similar stimulation toward the shoulder. Wow. They're like, no, but you see the bra showing. I'm like, what? Okay. And literally give me stimulation. That was what would do it for me. I was like, please. Really try to make me identify with this. And so they've been trying to make me acceptive of this. Like, no, but you see, remember this person you follow on Snap, remember Jesus. And try to make me imagine both of them that they don't look anything alike. But they try to find ways to see. It's crazy. I'm like, listen. As soon as I saw this shoulder in this fashion, with this perception, that means that you can make me experience whatever you want. And this is why I tried to take a picture of this person. At that point, she had like a hoodie on. You can see typical, let me just be honest, like a typical young adult white girl. Just so typical, like it's just like, they can make me see you like that. I see how they can make me experience this perception, because look at the shoulder here. Right, and you hear this purpose, because they sold their kids to these fucking entities filled with pedophiles. This trash who can't even say the word Roy Moore, a man that picked up kids, actual children. Well, this trash out here selling their kids, humiliated by the reality that now, today, even the shoulder of this person, they can manipulate me to get this stimulation. I took this video because they were stimulating me, and in the plane, these people were like acting a certain way. You know, there's perps all around you. There's perps. Try to be like, oh, I wish I would. I'm like, what? And I'm like, the shoulder? And then it's funny, the same perp that was talking and started looking at her, I was like, yeah. I was like, They wanted me to subscribe. First of all, for them to force me to get sexual stimulation to her shoulder, how embarrassing is that? Now the other person, that's when I'm like, okay, like you manipulating me, but it's like when they do that toward like young adults, it's like, okay, you can do that. It's not gonna faze me. She looked like she can pass for an adult, so in my brain it's gonna be easily manipulated. You can do whatever you want in my brain. If you do that to a shoulder of this person, a shoulder, even if she's like a grown woman, this shoulder would never. And when you see how skinny and bony, I was like, oh gosh. And then I see this person. They look like the same age, but she like such this skinny, goofy girl that was just laughing at like what she was saying. And I bet it was something about me. She's like, oh, you're gonna be tortured this way and this is gonna be so bad. She was laughing in this like druggy kind of way. It looked like she was like a little drug, like she was on some kind of like drug. Something was not right about her. But those two look like perps, obvious perps that I see here, but perps that just like on a little trip or something together. But it's just nasty. And these people are like, no, we have proof. You see how you saw that? It's like, thank you, because as soon as you did this nasty stimulation toward a shoulder of this person, you clearly show that you're capable of making me have perception toward children. Not even children, anybody. Because I don't even know if this person with her shoulder is a child. She could be actually a young adult. But for you to make me stimulate it on somebody's shoulder, is it not a pure indication that my brain is rewired and manipulated for me to have stimulation like that? It's not natural. And they try to say, no, but imagine like a sexy. No. You are forcing me to get stimulation, trust me. And she's like honestly, like I'm not a shoulder, I don't have a fetish for shoulders. But this person is like, out of everybody on top of that. So at that moment, it was clear to me that, man, they're playing with me, and I had to, that's why I filmed this. That's why I did like the whole thing when I just went through. It's because I knew that I gotta make a video about this. Look. And then later on, the girl next to her, who was just like looking back and forth, was like, why am I getting this different perception? Like, oh my gosh, it's like they just did that to the shoulder of this girl. So this is gonna be so much more. Then I see her standing up. At first I was like, oh my gosh, let me see what's the reality here. And I look at her, I was like, this she looks more like a young adultish. It's like, okay, whatever. But they still try to play in my brain in this way. Try to make me, I was like, oh, no, they're forcing it. I was like, you're forcing me to try to find her in an appealing way. I can feel it. It's like you're looking for, in my brain they can create perception. Now, listen, like I said, a shoulder of this person over there is all it took. So this person, I was like, and I'm looking, it's like, is that me? Are they manipulating me? I was like, yeah. The perception changed. Like, it just turned into, like, a normal person. But before that, they gave me, like, oh. So, you hear the noise campaign. This is part of how they want you to accept these things. You see, their job is to make me accept this EEG, heterodyning, or cloning, which consists of just rewiring my brain. Now, you saw an extreme there, which this extreme makes this less extreme thing obvious that I'm being manipulated. If they were able to make me experience this extreme reaction toward a shoulder, think about somebody who's like some young, looking like a 20-year-old, something like that. And truthfully, it was manipulated. It was not even like, listen, I've seen a 22-year-old woman and be like, okay, but I could tell I'm just being played with. It's just something about no. Like, not you, but I'm just like, my brain is just being played to get this perception. I'm like, whoa. But I gotta remember, they just did that to the shoulder. So for me, it's just simple. I'm gonna show the extreme. This is the same airplane. The reason why I filmed this shoulder is not because I'm like, oh, let me get a shoulder fit. I'm gonna be like, I'm going up a video saying the shoulder. No, it's because they're doing these things toward the shoulder. I acted like I was looking outside, and then it was like I just wanted to pass by to show that this is the thing. So after that, my gosh, if this is what they're capable of doing, this is anybody I look at, if they want me to get a reaction, they will give me some reaction perception stimulation, some kind of thing, which is what they do. Now I'm looking forward to these people framing me, because I want to see which child is going to be this destroyed life. In the sense of course, whatever is going to happen to me is going to happen to me regardless, because the government is running this program. I know what this is about. I'm not an idiot. I don't think these people are mapping or whatever. They're just manipulating my brain and see what tactics works the best, right? From the most extreme to the least extreme. And so for me, I'm done, because as long as the government wants me in whatever situation, I'll be in that situation. But these people are done in different ways. Do you understand? If I'm saying that I'm being manipulated to see this shoulder in this way, what can they not make me experience? To try to live a life where you're countering reality to the point where and like I was saying in the last part, I've accepted that my distraction, what's happening to me is what's happening to so many other target individuals. I'm a test subject for governmental entities that utilize this technology onto us. These perps are just supposed to create this facade and see what's going to work in regard to these manipulations and what I'm going to identify with, which is none of it. I know what they do. I know they manipulate the brain in this fashion, and I've been humiliating them. You've seen the shoulder of this person. That was manipulated to the point where I gave some reaction perception. Imagine if I saw the face. Imagine if I saw the rest of her body. You understand? And so to hear these perps, right, they tell me they already destroyed you. It's like kids. It's like children living this fantasy where they think they are truly are this like femme fatale. Like their geniuses destroyed me. Like these government entities are now running this program where they are literally rewiring my brain. And they truly want to stay in character. As if I'm going to let them live that. No. You know, any perps that partake in this and really want to stay in character, I'm not going to let them do that. You're going to make money knowing how you make money. That if you think that I will ever identify with any of this manipulation, then try to vilify me onto somebody, and then at the same time they try to make me think, nah, she's on. It's like she looked like some 20-year-old. Okay, and do I know that? I don't know. That's what she looks like. So, them who have stimulated me toward babies, like literally babies, toddlers. I'm supposed to like. This, you know, like, and just before stimulating me toward this woman, oh, let me just say, because I don't even want to call her that, this young individual who to me appears to be like in early 20s. That's why that's my, like I said, this is me guessing. If they stimulate me toward this person's shoulder in front of me, so you think I'm not like, so this person will not be, I will not be manipulated to experience anything toward this person? Of course. And these people right now are making noise campaign, trying to do everything possible to get you to accept these things. It's like, tell me how I'm going to go to jail. Yes, I'll be framed by people who manipulate people in these ways. People who work for pedophiles and manipulate the brain to have reaction toward this, react toward anything the way they want to, from the babies to the older. From older kids to the babies to the young adult, whoever they want me to be manipulated. And I can't wait to see this trash in person. But I'm telling you, it's so obvious that whatever is going to come to them is going to come to them properly. It's humiliating. You see the shoulder. This is who they stimulate me first. The shoulder. So you think that now I'm going to be identified with this other manipulation when you can do that to this? And they tell me how they're going to be another. You know, the humiliation of obvious manipulation is so obvious that they manipulate the brain that they're going to live off whatever torture I'm going to go through. Because these grown men, women, even these retards can obviously be aware that it's too obvious that something is happening to him to get these reactions. If they can do that for this, of course there's going to be nothing. And they try to disorient me, tell me how I'm going to be fired. This perps contracted me to torment me. And to hear this grown man try to talk about their life with you this and doesn't trash, this is how you live life. Honestly, I do not envy life. They're not, listen, I don't think they're suffering. I don't think they have a health issue, at least. Most of them. But I will never could be able to look at myself and be like, nah, that's so you, now they're fired. They do. It's like, let's go. Grown ass man with no fucking respect. What kind of human are you? A clown. Playing with your tonality. Because you humiliated the shoulder there was something that they forced me to get stimulation. And now how can you even make, if you can do that to the shoulder, this is going to be too obvious. Because this is not even a full person there. It's a shoulder. It's a not even like a sexual part. It's a shoulder. And giving somebody a reaction this way shows that you can obviously, if I see a whole person, then imagine what they can do. And this person who appears to be like a 20-year-old or so can easily manipulate me. And they're truly like, try to now kill yourself. It's like, I love myself. You love yourself too. Because if you love yourself, you won't be embarrassing yourself like that. To all my target individuals, stay strong.
I've submitted without informed consent. They were funded by the DoD and intelligence agencies, where I'm not even so sure you would know if there's an IRB, much less if an IRB is looking at informed consent. As a physician, relative to some of what you're hearing today, in the community, we are seeing an alarming rate of complaints of use of electromagnetic weapons, microwave auditory effects, silent sound spectrum, EEG cloning, which has taken the lab out of the laboratory and into the home. Most of these, from the research that we reviewed, can be done remotely. It seems to be more weapons research than medical research. I personally corresponded with upwards of 1,500 victims, all complaining of identical complaints from every state in the nation of being exposed to electromagnetic radiation, non-ionizing radiation for the use of cognitive control or behavior control. I've submitted a paper to you, and there's another paper submitted to each member from another physician in Kansas City, alluding to the same thing.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hall?
Designed to interact with the human nervous system in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions, for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head, to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.